A very good day to all the students who are watching today's program. I'm Dr. C.A. Abhishek Murali, and this video I am going to tell you how you need to prepare a timetable for your examination. Ladies and gentlemen, my dear students, preparing a timetable is of very critical importance, especially when it comes to the Chartered Accountants examination. And this video today, I am going to cover not only how to prepare in case you have time. Some of you will have 3 months study leave, 4 months study leave, more than 2.5 months study leave. So how you need to prepare in that case, and how you need to prepare a timetable in case you have only 20 to 30 days time for preparing for your examination. So in both cases, how you need to prepare for it, I'm going to give you tips. Now, the first thing I'm going to cover is if you have a longer term time. Let us assume you have examination leave of 60 days or more, then it can be considered to be a reasonable, long enough time for you to prepare for the examination. So, in these cases, three critical tips I'm going to tell you. The first thing will be ensure you make a long term and a short term plan of a timetable. What do I mean by that? A long term plan should have the entire 3 months. What are all the subjects you want to complete? In the next 15 days, I'm going to do subject 1 and subject 2. After that, 15 to 30 days, I'm going to do subject 3 and subject 4. On the next 15 days, I am going to prepare for subject 5 and subject 6, and also keep some time for revising subject 1 and 2 so that I don't forget what I studied almost 30 days back. So this would be what I call a long-term plan. So plan for every 15-day slot for your entire study leave examination time that you have. That is a long-term timetable. Now, if you have any classes or certain subjects that need additional attention, I am not comfortable with standard costing. I don't know how to do partnership accounts. Final accounts, I am having some challenges. So, in all of these cases, you may have certain drawbacks, certain difficulty in certain specific subjects, or even certain specific chapters also. Please allot extra time for all of this. And when I say allot extra time, I mean in the first 60 days itself. If you have 90 days time, first 60 days. If you have 60-day time, then the first 45 days. You have to ensure you cover whatever difficult areas you have in this time, so that by the time it comes to your final month, you will already be comfortable with that topic. You will not spend too much time learning a new topic. Instead, you will already be familiar and more comfortable with it. Now, that is the long term plan. I also told you have to prepare a short term plan. What do I mean by short term? Ladies and gentlemen, my dear students, you need to have a day to day timetable. Not only that, try to prepare an hourly timetable. Prepare your entire day, 24 hours, split it into 2 hour slots, 1 hour slots, 3 hour slots, whatever you are comfortable with, but ensure you split it into slots in the day. Of course, minimum 6 to 7 hours you are going to sleep. Whether you want to sleep during the day, during the night, whatever you are comfortable with, you can please do it. Some people prefer to study at night. Some people prefer to study early in the morning, maybe some people during the day. So, beside, depending on your circumstances, your comfort, you plan which is your ideal study time. But let us assume 6 to 7 hours of day you keep for sleeping. Then the balance you have, still you have around 17 hours in a day. Let us assume 2 to 3 hours go in your getting ready, morning, having the bath, reading the paper, eating food, all of that you will lose at least 3 hours. Maybe unforeseen circumstances will come up, so 4 hours. Some housework is there, so 5 hours. But end of the day, you still have 24 hours minus 7 for your sleeping, minus another 5. You still have minimum of 12 hours preparation. Minimum 12 hours in a day you need to have for preparing your CA. So in this 12 hours, split it into 3 hours time slots or 2 hour time slots. Keep 10 minutes break, 5 minutes break it between the time slot, and ensure you plot out your day. Plot out your entire day for the next 1 week. So prepare the timetable on a weekly basis. If you are more diligent, you can do on a daily basis also. But the risk with doing on a daily basis is you will tell, okay, this I will do tomorrow. I know how I'm controlling tomorrow. If you put a longer term, 3 days timetable or a 4 day or a 5 day timetable, then you'll be scared of having any spillage over to the next day. So try to put a long term timetable and a short term timetable. Put a daily timetable. And also, please, my dear friends, at the start itself, in the very first week, if you are already not aware of what books you want to study for your CA examination, please choose your books wisely. Stick to those books, do the research, choose whatever chapters, whatever books you want. If specific chapters I want to use a different author, select it beforehand, be ready, so that midway through, once you have done 7 days of preparation, you suddenly feel, oh, this book is not good enough. Try to avoid those circumstances. It may still arise, but try to avoid it by doing the research in the first week itself, and ensuring for each particular topic you know what books you are going to use, you know what material you are going to revise. Second most critical thing. So first one is ensure long term and short term plan. Second one, do practice tests and gear up for the examination time. This is what I call the psychology game. Ladies and gentlemen, what is very, very interesting with our CA examination is when you take any other course, you take doctor, lawyer, any other professional qualification, engineering, BCom, anything, they all have regular examinations, cycle tests. They have what you call a semester examination. So every 2 to 3 weeks they would have been writing some examination. It is only in our CA course you pass. For example, I passed my board exams, and then I had my CPT at the time. I was one of the last batches where it was an objective test. I had to write my inter during my articleship. So after almost 2 years, 2.5 years, I wrote my inter examination. And in 2.5 years, I have never written for 3 hours. I have not even written for 1 hour. So the habit of writing, suddenly one day you are going to the examination hall, you are writing for 3 hours, you will come back with your arm paining, your elbow paining. I had a friend who got his wrist injured. So he was not able to write, he was able to write maximum only 2.5 hours. So the last half hour of the exam, he had to nurse his wrist. So all of these circumstances arise because you don't have the practice. You don't have the practice of writing. So my dear friends, it is important that you get into the art of being prepared for the 3 hour examination. So ensure you do practice tests. Many educational institutions, they organize mock examination. So if you want, you can write a mock examination there, or if you are very disciplined, you can do it at your home itself. 3 hours, no disturbance, keep the phone away, put it on silent, keep every other disturbance off, and prepare. And my dear friends, one very, very important thing is, soon you will know what time your examination is going to be held, which 3 hour slot your examination is going to be held. Is it 9 to 12? Is it 12 to 3? Or is it in the evening from 4 to 7? You don't know. But once you know, try to ensure those 3 hours every day till the examination starts, you are geared in. Don't sleep at that time. Don't do any other activity at time. Study or practice your examination at the time. Because what will happen is, during the day, the biological clock will be ready for those 3 hours. You will be at your sharpest. You will be at your best when you're writing your examination. So prepare the game mentally. Ensure the 3 hours of your examination every day for the next 1 month or next 1.5 months. You are ensuring you are doing something in a very focused manner towards the examination. And the final third important tip while preparing the timetable for a long-term person is keep at least 1 month for your revision. Keep at least 1 month for your revision. Keep 20 to 25 days, my dear friends. You must have time to revise. If you have not finished certain topics, it's okay. Don't think 30 chapters are there, all 30 chapters I must know. It is okay if you know even 26 or 27. But ensure you have adequate time to revise your subjects that you have studied. It's a very unfortunate situation. If you come to the day of the examination, you have forgotten what you studied because it was more than 2 months ago. Sometimes people tend to forget even if you studied 2 weeks ago. So keep adequate time. The last 1 month should be geared towards revising all your efforts that you have put in before that. So ensure you do that. And one very, very good tip which has been very useful for me and people who are associated with me is that the last 2 to 3 days before your first examination, focus on your first examination. It is once again a psychology game where the focus, if you do the first examination well, you will go very, very confidently for the rest of the examination. So ensure the last 2 to 3 days before the first examination, don't get disturbed. Don't try to do your sixth examination, seventh examination, or focus on the first examination. Be very strong. So when you go into that exam hall, when you write that paper, you come out feeling, yes, whatever I studied for is successful. Rest of the 7 exams, rest of the 6 exams, everything is going to go well. So you study that, you go with that confidence, you'll be able to take the rest very, very confidently. Now, these 3 tips that I told you, make a short-term and long-term plan, do practice tests and gear up in those 3 hours, whatever you're going to have your exam. And third one, keep at least adequate time of 20 to 25 days before your exam for revision. So these are the 3 critical tips for the long-term It's a timetable. Now let us come to the short-term timetable. You have only 1 month. Your office has not given you leave. Maybe you are working. You're a employed person, and whenever you get time, you take a short-term leave to go and prepare for your examination. In these cases, how should you prepare? First important tip, most very important tip: do a ABC analysis of all the topics. What do I mean? It is not required that you need to have studied page to page, end to end. My dear friends, do a ABC analysis. I would say 70% of the marks come from 30% of the chapters. If you see the history of the papers, look at all the past question papers, look at the importance of the topics, see your classes, what your friends have attended, make some discussions, and you will know that certain topics are more important than others. So if you want to say, I want to skip insurance accounting, I want to skip non-for-profit accounting, it is okay. You can take a chance to skip it because they don't get asked that often. But if you say, I will skip hire purchase, I will skip final accounts, I will skip single entry, these are all very risky because these are questions that come every time in your accounts examination. So please ensure you do ABC analysis, and whatever category A, don't skip it. Category B and C, take a conscious call based on your time that you have. Second, while drawing up the timetable, focus on the weak areas in the category A first. You have done the ABC analysis. Now, category A, you know what are the all the critical ones. You have a very limited time of 25 to 30 days. Please focus on category A because you know the marks are 95%. Or most of the time, those questions will be asked from those topics. So focus on the topics you are weaker so that you have more time to focus on other topics at the later time. You will be able to do whatever you're comfortable with. You can always study later, but whatever you're not comfortable with, don't keep it to the last. Do it in the first itself. Cover those topics very well. Final tip for persons who are preparing short term time: focus on being strong with the subject. What do I mean? Conceptually, try and be strong. Don't spend too much time practicing. Putting pen to paper is very important. As I told you, even the long term persons, putting pen to paper is something as CAs we are not done. Especially with the advent of computers, the writing habit has gone out. In fact, even me, I had that major problem where I had not written for a very long time. So therefore, I struggled when it came to the examination. I had leg pain, I had hand pain, all of that was there. So my dear friends, putting pen to paper may be important, but when you don't have time, that is not as important. Instead, focus on being conceptually strong. Ensure you're strong with the subject. Pain, you can take a dolo, you can put Amrutanjan, put a spray, you can do all this. You will be fine for the next examination. 6 days, you can do it 6 times, no problem. We are in the final stretch, so you will be able to do it. But the focus is conceptually be strong so that in the exam paper, if a question comes, you need to be able to interpret it and answer it correctly in your own words. So don't focus on putting pen to paper, solving 100 problems. Understand the concept so that you can do it yourself at the time of the examination. You will have more time for preparing and being ready for the exam. Doing past papers, suggested answers will help you give an idea what is the track record of the questions asked. I'm not saying it will always come based on past papers. I'm not saying it will always come based on suggested answers. But when you don't have time, it's very important you are prepared with the key areas over there. This will be very helpful when it comes to the ABC analysis. So my short-term friends, for your summary, your three critical points: do a ABC analysis of all topics. While drawing a timetable, focus on your weak areas in category A first. And third and most important thing, focus on being conceptually strong with the subject. So with this, I wish all of you all the very best, and take care. My due regards. This is Dr. CA Abhsihek Murali. I'm a regional council member, secretary of the SIRC of ICI. All the best. Thank you very much.